beats a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkalytic.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
Hello, hello, happy Saturday. You are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Happy Saturday. As you're coming in, please go ahead and share the live. Have others be a part of the conversation. We have a great show for you all today. So please come on in, come on in. As you're coming in, again, please go ahead and share the live. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. Dr. Farid Zarif. We are streaming on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm not sure about Facebook, but we're going to keep it going. Today, we are going to be talking about ingredients of food, artificial foods, excuse me. We are also going to be speaking or discussing about your blood sugar, foods bad for your blood sugar. And there's been a recall. The FDA recalled over 5 million eggs. So beware of that. And what is clean eating? We are going to be discussing those topics today. So please come on in, share the live, drop comments, let us know that you are there. And I see Dr. Zarif there. I'm going to go ahead and have you join me here on stage. Dr. Zarif, how are you today?
Wonderful, Kara. It's good to be here. I'm excited because I have a brother like no other that's going to be here with us today. And that is the wonderful Sanjay Schaller. He's a beautiful, beautiful brother, also known by Akil. Akil. So I'm really happy to have him here. And thank you. I'm thanking him already for being here because I know when it's hot, it's early and everything. This brother's just awesome when you hear his story. Now, this is what I want you to do before we even get to Mr. Schaller. I want to make sure that you also get your people in. So that they can also hear his story and understand what it takes in order to uh, lift yourself up and keep going no matter what. And we as a community, we need to also get involved financially. So everything that you can do today and on, even if you can do something repeatedly, like every month, just arrange it where you can just do it automatically, where you'll send some money to help him. And I'm just getting straight to the point, because we need to get off our rusty dusties and make sure that we do the right thing. So we're going to do that. So there's a lot of things that we're going to discuss. So I'm going to get right into it. Instagram is definitely. Let me double check again.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is uh, not responding the way you want to, but you can't stop there. We got to keep going.
Yes, and
So,
I noticed that Facebook is not either. So that's why I always give out the YouTube channel because that's definitely the place that, for whatever
back up, baby, back up.
reason,
Got to have that backup, you
right,
know.
it
Yeah,
always comes through. So
yeah. It's beautiful. So let's go ahead. What I want to do is get started with the very first thing that we're going to talk about today, and the very first thing that we're going to talk about is the ingredients in artificial foods. So let's get started. I want to bring that up. When it comes to artificial food, a lot of things that we eat, with a lot of things that we're eating, they aren't real at all, and unfortunately, we continue to eat them because they keep providing them for us, and we fall in love with the flavor. So some of the things that you'll find that's very necessary, and that's willpower. And that's what you're going to learn from Sanjay. Sanjay is going to explain to you, some of the situations that he's faced and some of the things that are coming up. And this is just incredible bravery and just wonderful. Just a wonderful outlook on life. This brother is just incredible. So and this is a brother that I love, by the way. It's like just like my little brother. We Sanjay used to stand on my head when we went to the forum at that time and we performed. Muhammad Ali was there on the same day. I remember going up in the audience. I don't know if Sanjay remembers that, but Sanjay was one of the stars. He came out, and because Sanjay was a big fella at a young age, but he was one of the smoothest moving and assertive brothers, and it's just like it was. You had to involve him in everything because he was just that wonderful. And we performed during just before the Lakers game, and it was a lot. It was so many of us, Sanjay. I know you can hear us in the green room. Yeah, that I remember that we didn't hardly have any time to do anything because there was so many of us that came out on the basketball court. Well, going back to the wonderful things about the as far as our the food goes, I'm going to get this up here for you. That we need to take a look at those things that will help our body, as we talk about all the time. Now, you hear about the different supplements. You got another doctor that is constantly, actually sharing some really bogus information, which just I'll just call it misinformation. And I don't know that he is at the point where he's just spreading or propagating disinformation. I don't know if it's to the point of disinformation yet, but he's definitely spreading very rapidly the misinformation. Now, misinformation is a little more naivete that is involved with misinformation, just thinking that it is better, or you heard, or it was this folklore, those kinds of things that aren't actually proven with a lot of evidence. But when you have evidence and you still pass around or spread the misinformation, then that is disinformation because you know better, but you don't do any better. And that can cause people to suffer from these misguiding, groups of information. The Another thing that I wanted to share with you is that the foods that we eat, it shouldn't be foods that are only it should be for everybody. I just say it like that because when you're talking to like a teenager or you have small children in your family and there are things, excuse me, things that you don't eat, but you'll tell your child or cousin or little one to eat it. It's almost like using the child as a garbage disposal. So we would really uh, uh, really want to just advise you not to do that with children. When it comes to the components of these different flavors and these different common components in the artificial ingredients, well, first, it's just so much running through my head about artificial food because artificial food is practically in everything. This typically consists of synthetic ingredients that are designed to mimic taste and texture and appearance of natural foods. So when we see something, it looks like a cupcake, it smells like a cupcake, but it's not a cupcake. And that's because of so many of the artificial ingredients. We start off with flavors. Now, flavorings are artificial flavors. Not all of them, but there are some natural flavors. Then they'll come from some of the phytosterols, which are the actual plant fats. But the artificial flavors are created using chemical compounds to replicate a natural taste. Then we have colors. We have food dyes, both synthetic and natural. Don't be afraid of the word synthetic because it only means to make. And what is natural means in its original state. When you start going outside of what is natural, then it is called refined. Some people would say processed, but it's actually more than being processed. Processed just simply means to be manipulated, even by your hand. You can take a head of lettuce and you can pluck the leaves from that head of lettuce, and that would be considered processed. So when you're processing something, you're just changing it from its original state. But refining is a different thing. Refinement is when you're actually changing the look. It can even change the aroma, and you can add other things to the batch or the formula, the recipe, and that would be called refined. So refined is a whole different thing. Refined is like dropping a thin potato slice into super hot grease, and you come up with a potato chip. And the same thing, another example would be some kind of frosted flake or sugary pop or something. All of those things, they used to look like corn, but after they refine these particular things, they don't look like corn. They actually look like flakes and little balls and those kinds of things. Well, that's refining. Now we go down to preservatives. And preservatives, when we talk about the preservatives, we also are talking about foods that sometimes, preservatives even feel or look like or smell like some of the foods that are just healthy to eat, like strawberry preserves, for instance. Yum. You see all of the little seeds and all that, but again, a little bit of that every once in a while, fine. But if you're doing that every morning, like you love strawberry, the strawberry jam or the strawberry preserves, this is something that, again, eating a smaller amount because things don't even become poison until you eat too much of it. Like you can take a couple of aspirins, and a couple of aspirins will help you feel better, maybe with a headache. But if you overdo it and you eat multiple aspirins, then it could even threaten your life. So it's important to know that there's a cutoff point and you don't overdo it, because gluttony is one of the things that will definitely challenge your stability, and it could easily work against you. Preservatives, back to that, the chemicals like sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate extend shelf life by preventing spoilage. So these sodium, when you see the sodium benzoate and you see the potassium sorbate, you know that the main reason they are in that package of donuts, or they're in the Fritos, or whatever they're serving, or whatever the product is for shelf life, not for a better life for you, but your shelf life. And then we go to sweeteners. Sweeteners, the artificial sweeteners such as the aspartame, the sucralose, the saccharin, all of those, like those little packs that are used for coffee. They provide sweetness without calories. So that is a food that you're eating, but you don't get any energy from it. You get some artificial energy because it is artificial, But what happens over time is that we accrue the amount of, we overdo it with the foods that we eat, because all of these artificial ingredients are stuck in the food, or they make the food with the the that particular um, ingredients. Now, many of the artificial food components are derived from petroleum and synthesized in laboratories. Yeah, that's right. You have food components that are derived from petroleum, and that, of course, petroleum is the oil, and the oil that they make, the octane. I was going to say toxic octane. That's redundant, but that's used for other things, like even petroleum is also used for different types of salves, and they're in some lotions, and it goes on. But in any case, you don't want to put it in your body. Especially foods that we eat repeatedly, that's something that you want to be aware of, because when you eat it repeatedly, it can easily become a habit, and habits can become what? Yeah, addictions. So some ingredients may also come from natural sources, but are processed to enhance their properties. Because the main thing that the manufacturer wants to do is wants to appease you with their product, so that you'll continue to buy the product. Now, as far as regulation and safety, the regulatory bodies like FDA in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration, evaluate the safety of the artificial food ingredients before they can be used in products. So they already know, as scientists, technicians, doctors of certain of chemistry, for instance, they already know that if you ate some of these things purely, just like the uh, different the different kinds of chemicals that come in different foods. If you ate those things by themselves, then what would happen is that it would probably cause a problem, because you have too much of it in your system. Get it? So, like, you can eat oatmeal and put some butter in it, and it'll be fine, because you kind of have the oatmeal, which is the fiber, cancel out or reduce the amount of cholesterol. But suppose you put a whole stick of butter in that um, oatmeal, then what you'll have then is a challenge in your arteries, because you'll have those, your arteries will definitely be challenged by eating food that you have is imbalanced. You got a whole stick of butter in a little bowl of oatmeal. So a lot of people do that also with salads. They are eating this little couple of, well, they'll start off putting a lot of salad. It makes it look good, but they'll drown it in salad dressing with a lot of sugar and other additives in there. So we want to definitely stop that. Other things that would be artificial that you'll see would be like your artificial blueberries, truffle oil, the artificial truffle oil. There's also artificial cinnamon. And these are some of the things that are very, very cheap. Cinnamon comes from the cinnamon, cinnamomum. Yeah, I think that's how you say that. It's a cinnamomum verum tree, and that verum tree uh, are they have, what they do is they take off these different forms, and they roll off like the bark, the inside bark of that cinnamon tree, and they roll them up and they make cinnamon sticks. Now those are then ground into a powder to create cinnamon that can be used or by spoon, or you can sprinkle it. Um, And there are other different types of cinnamon, and they're known as the Ceylon or Ceylon cinnamon, and this is a native to the southern India and Sri Lanka, which was once known as Ceylon. Now, Ceylon not it's not the only type of cinnamon. As a matter of fact, there are some cinnamons that you shouldn't eat at all. But like there comes another one that it's also called the Chinese cinnamon. And Chinese cinnamon, because it is a product of China, the native cinnamon cassia tree. It's a weird title, but that's what it is. And it's able to grow in many more places than Ceylon cinnamon relative. And it's a major cash court crop. It's a major cash crop. So they protect it as something almost like the different syrups, like maple syrup is a high ticket. So a lot of people buy these big tickets foods, and they are some are delicious, especially when you get to the right source. Other things that you can keep in mind: canned pumpkin puree, the wasabi. All of these things can come with a lot of um, excess artificial ingredients. And then there's vanilla extract, and I'm sure you heard of vanillin. Um, containers of real vanilla extract and imitation vanilla. They look identical, but the contents inside are extremely different. According to America's Test Kitchen, about 80% of the global vanilla crop originates in Madagascar. And vanilla extract is made by soaking long brown vanilla bean pods in alcohol and collecting the pure vanilla that comes out in the process. Now, alcohol is also involved in the creation of imitation vanilla. It's used to dilute and is used to produce a vanilla-like substance created by processing vanillin out of the guaiacol. And now the a petroleum, or like we were talking about petroleum earlier, that's what the uh, guaiacol is actually a petroleum derivative. And that's when we're talking about food, you're going to hear a lot of stuff like, I don't need to eat that. But again, the food manufacturers want to appeal to our taste, appeal to our what we look at, what we're listening to, how it feels, and how it smells. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that actually the foods that we eat are appealing to our five senses. Real vanilla in both uh, real vanilla is actually both rare and expensive. Only 1% of all vanilla sold is authentic. 1%, less than 1% of vanilla that is sold is authentic. So that's only 1% of that. 99% of vanilla that you get isn't even real. With the rest of this fake stuff, that costs about 50 times less than real vanilla. Other things that are fake caviar, people they actually synthesize that. There's a lot of fake honey going around. Subway's tuna is a lot of that. Again, as far as fake foods are concerned, premium seafoods, extra virgin olive oil. A lot of times you think you're getting extra virgin olive oil, but do your due diligence and find out where does it come from and who's distributing it. the imitation crab meat, which is a big item. All of these are some of the things that we can keep our minds on when it comes to artificial flavors and colors and artificial and all together all the artificial foods. So we're warming up now, so we can go ahead and go back to the wonderful care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Great information. When you say imitation, like the crab meat and the stuff, like I thought about Subway. So you mentioned Subway, but it's just weird because it's like, what is it if it's not what they think it is? That's
Right.
always the question that comes to me. It's like, so I wonder what it is. I mean, do you think it's more harmful than?
Well, I think I know exactly where you're going. I think that like with anything, if you overdo it, we've been living on artificial food for centuries, well, a long time. I don't want to push it too far back, but it's like for at least over the last 100 years, we've definitely been using artificial because you have the artificial butter called oleo. Some people call it margarine, and they definitely these are some of the things that are really off and artificial. And then you have even water. People will do anything to capitalize on making more money. You just have people that damn greedy that
Mm,
they want to really take all the something from its original state. So we end up getting hooked on those foods. And then what do we have? We have a challenge of the euphorate or euphoria versus sickness.
right.
So, or just a person that just becomes finicky and say, "Nah, I won't eat that mess." And or people even know that things are harmful, like ribs and pork links and all those kinds of foods. Well, that those are habits that we form. We can still live with those. Some people are living with those and they're healthy, but what happens is we increase the risk of disease. That's the thing. So we definitely want to make a difference when it comes to making the choice. The choices that we make should also make a difference in what the food that we eat.
Right. I think as long as they get the smell, the texture, and the taste correct,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah. Yeah, we got to get our people to think beyond that. Uh, let's go. We want to bring up Sanjay Sharla. Everybody, let's give it up. Sanjay Sharla in the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, and this is Sanjay. How you doing, brother? Thank you for being here this morning.
and thank you for having me, Dr. Zarif, Miss Carolyn. Nice to meet you. Well, I already know so.
Now, tell me something. It's great to have you here, brother. Tell me what is did at some point you changed your name? You want to talk to us about that?
Well, I didn't change. I just switched it around. So I was born Sanjay Akil Schaller. One day I found out someone was. I just switched it around so they couldn't use it no more to Akil Sanjay.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, that's beautiful, man. That's always to me. That's just another evidence of your brilliance. It's good to have that ability and change. Now, so people will become as I was telling people, you've been a student. We've known each other nearly 40 years, probably, definitely over 30.
14 years old, I think I met you.
Oh, and now, what's your age now, Sanjay?
One now.
Said he, I'm
I'm 51 now. I met you when I was like 13 or 14.
Oh, mercy. Okay, good, good. So we have um, great connection. Always have, and this is just something that is really. I'm really excited. I'm glad that we're actually putting this in history today. This will always be available for people to even come back and see. Which you and I are known for, because when we get together, we put our minds together and entertain all the different forms and stuff. I'm
Yes.
getting ready to start a whole series of martial arts on Zoom. So
Oh, really? Okay.
yes, uh, Sanjay, you've been a few things that when it comes to your health, you've had a few challenges. You want to speak to us about that?
Okay. So basically, I got diagnosed with, I guess it's arthritis of the knees, spine, and hips. So I decided, and I got up to like 430 pounds. I was a truck driver, just sitting in the truck all day, drinking, eating, not exercising, just working my butt off every day, just driving 12 hours a day. So
Wow.
never noticed that the weight was getting so bad until one day I fell out of my truck, trying to get out the truck. So I went to the hospital and they was like, "Man, you diabetic. You're 430 pounds. You high blood pressure, high cholesterol." I was like, "What?" I didn't know, because I was just sitting and working, sitting and working. And basically, I said, "I can't do this because
Wow.
hardly walk. I was walking with a cane. I was hobbling everywhere. I felt real old and tired and exhausted all the time. So I said, it's just time to do a complete 180 and just switch everything up. So I did everything I had to do. I went and got the bariatric gastric sleeve surgery. Um, went from 430 down 285. So I lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
Yeah, and feeling much better. No more diabetes, no more high blood pressure, no more high cholesterol. Uh, just basically on multivitamins, because after you get the sleeve surgery, you have to implement more vitamins into your system since your stomach has some of the vitamins already in them. So,
Yes.
so basically, like I said, I did a complete 180, man, and I'm feeling great. I just got my right hip total replacement 3 weeks ago after my weight was lost because I had to lose a certain amount of weight to get the hip done. So that's my first step to walking better and being able to exercise again. So that's what I'm on now. I'm in the third week of healing. It takes about 6 months to 7 months to fully heal. So everything's going great though.
That is so wonderful to hear. All of that weight, man.
And,
Wow.
but
But
like
what?
you were saying about the food, I had to change everything. Like how I looked at food, how I bought the food,
Yeah.
uh, or all that artificial crap I cut off. No more
Yeah.
more sodas, no more sugary content. I just basically I'm on basically a plant base and a lot of fish, a lot of protein.
Mhm.
That's basically it, man. And the weight off.
That is awesome. God, and I love I love that you also with losing weight, you also lost those other complications.
Sir. Yes, sir. Everything went away. Now I'm truly blessed about it. I'm happy for myself. My kids are happy because I had two 9-year-olds, and it was just like
Yeah.
that was my main goal because I couldn't play with them the way I should as a father. To
Yeah.
be active with them. And it's not their fault. It's my fault for living the life I lived as a younger person and doing all the damage I did to my body.
Yes. Oh man, man, so happy to hear that. Let's get a band going. Do we have that band, Care, that we can put on?
The banner for
Yes,
GoFundMe.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is we want to make sure that we get we're going to make sure that we definitely want to do everything that we can to help Sanjay. Sanjay's had this thing up and it's just not getting enough attention. And it's just like one of the things about friendship is that we're supposed to be there for each other. And Sanjay is more like a brother than a friend. And family is just time for us to do what we're supposed to do, and that's like, what you need, brother. Okay, I got your back. Let's do it. So we want to do everything. We want to keep that up. I want to talk about more of Sanjay's challenges and the frame of mind that you have to be in, Sanjay, when you're going through all this must be,
Man,
know,
at first I was, like in a state of what's going to happen next. Like, am I going to be? Oh, I hope the doctor's a great doctor. He doesn't do anything where I'm going to be injured for the rest of my life. So I gave it to God, man. You know, I gave it to God. I gave it to my sense of knowing, just accept the challenge. Something that you taught us in our martial art class is always just go forward. Just keep moving forward, and hopefully everything is going to work itself out. And that's what actually happened. I just took on the challenge with just like with an open heart, open mind, and just always had a great attitude. And that's one of the main things about healing and all these surgeries and stuff, is that you have to have that positive mindset, or it's not going to work for you.
Beautiful. And this is just for those of you that just joining us. We're listening to Sanjay Schaller, and he is explaining to us some of the things that he's been challenged with, the overweightness, the challenge of other maladies. And he's also speaking to us all about the frame of mind that one should be in. When Sanjay said the one of the things is that when you give it to God, I really want people to listen to that, because it's not just a phrase, it's really a serious attitude. Giving it to God means to relieve yourself of that problem. It's not, some things you cannot reach, you can't do anything about. So giving it to God is a phrase that people use when there's like, you know what, I've done all that I can do humanly. I've done everything I can do humanly. Now we let the omniscient, the omnipotent, the almighty take over from there, and stay in a prayerful state. Stay in one of the things, yes, Sanjay, speak to us about that.
Well,
What is it?
I was going to say that. I was going to interject. I was going to say that basically I had to, because as having all the symptoms I had, arthritis of all the knees, hips, back, spine, I couldn't do no exercises. I couldn't work out like the
Right.
normal workout. I couldn't walk the mile without being in pain. So I had to make that choice. Like I have just there has to be another way. And so when I got on my knees, I submitted. I said, you know what, God, this is on you. I can't do it. I
Mm,
tried, and I kept getting more and more pain and more situations where I was like losing my balance and falling and stuff like that. So I was like, let's see what else. There must be another way. And so that's why I gave it to God. And God said, look, I'm gonna find a doctor for you. And he did. Bam.
yes.
I'll get you approved. I got approved.
Yes.
Let's do the bypass surgery. It worked because, like I said, I was 430 pounds, man, and I was huge, and I was unhappy. I was depressed,
Yeah.
and you know, I don't want to give you too much of my backstory, but you know, back in the day, I was depressed. I was on drugs. I was gang banging. I was doing everything. After I left your care, Dr. Zuri,
Yeah.
but you know, I had to submit then too. You know, I had to give it back to God when I wanted to get off drugs. I was like, hey, I can't do this no more. I had
Mm,
to I had to give it to somebody else other than myself. I couldn't do it by myself. You know, I was robbing all of my loved ones. I was on the streets, walking the streets, pushing shopping carts, doing the worst things I could do as a human being. And I was ashamed. I was depressed, and I was angry with myself. And so, like I said, once I gave it all back to God, man, and submitted, got on my knees and prayed, and everything just started changing. I did a complete 180. God straightened me out. You know, I might have to do a little prison time, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? It worked for me. It made me who I am today. It was part of my testimony. You know, it's a chapter in my book. And ever since I've been sober almost 16 years. And
ooh, wow. That's
hey, I'll tell you a story. My sister said, I saw you walking down Crenshaw Boulevard with no shoes on, pushing a shopping cart. I was like, no shit. I didn't. I was like, wow. I didn't know how far gone I was. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
eye opener. You know, I was like, well, I can't do this no more. You know,
Yes.
like with the weight and the eating, bad eating habits, and all my bad. But it's not even bad. It was just the way we was brought up. You know, my mom's from the South. You know, we ate pork and chicken and fried. Everything was mostly fried and
Yeah.
you know smothered, and that's just raised. So you know, I just turn it around, and I did. And so I'm trying to get down to at least like 225, 220. That's my goal weight. I'm
Yes.
85 right now, so I'm doing it.
That's beautiful. You're in the healing state right now, right?
Sir. Yes, sir. I'm on my third week after my right hip surgery. So basically, they said it takes about 6 to 7 months, up to a year, to totally mend the prosthetic into your, because they put one part into your femur and they put the other part into your pelvic area.
Yes.
Now it's just, it's a day by day task. Make sure I don't trip. Do my PT, my physical therapy, stuff like that.
Awesome. Awesome. With the are you finding that you're spending, or you might have already did this, spend time in the kitchen, spend more time when selecting better foods?
Oh yes, oh yes. So now, from a lot of your videos on TikTok and everything, and but you used to teach us as kids too. Also, like to always read, always read.
Yeah.
Or if you pick it up, read it. Why not? See what you're looking at. So that was always some, because I'm a chef too. I've been a chef for 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
That's what happened. I was a chef. I found out that I had all this arthritis, so I couldn't stand. You standing up in the kitchen, standing up for 12 hours a day. And I started to notice I'm leaning on everything. And I was like, you know what? I need to find a job where I can sit. And that's why
Right.
one
Oh,
that's why it was kind of a worst case scenario, because sitting on my butt all day, I'm not doing no exercise. But so I was like, okay, but I still gotta make money. So
yeah.
became a truck driver, and then but being a chef, I always read labels anyway. I always want to know what was in it, if it's artificial, how much artificial, you know what I'm saying, how it tastes, how it smells, how much salt. That's just my thing. Because when I cook, I cook with love. I want to cook like I'm cooking for my mom.
Yes.
I'm saying, I want everybody to smile. I want them you suck on that bone. And so that's
Just
just
bone.
right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the only boy. I got two sisters, and so I was always in the kitchen. I'm the baby. So my mom had me snapping peas at 8 years old. Come get this boy. Come here. So
Yeah, I knew your mother, man,
yeah,
well, and she used to be so supportive in everything that we did, and I loved it. Your mother was really high on education too.
yeah,
She really wanted she wanted better for you, and she loved the idea of. I think she loved children too, because she would always bring the joy with her.
yeah. My mom had a daycare for 40 years, man. She raised basically the whole neighborhood from the time I was a kid till she passed a few years ago. She was she left her legacy, man, because at her going away party, going home party, she all the kids that she raised came. It was like I couldn't recognize. I was like, damn, what? They was like, hey, Sanjay. I'm like, man, I don't know you. He was like, I was 5. I was like, oh, it's
I
just
don't know you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Um, I wanted to also just, do you have any suggestions to people that may be going through what you just went through?
yeah.
That What would you suggest?
Got to have that strength within yourself, because I know you have family, because even the hospitals try to say make sure you have people around you to support you, which is great. You know what I'm saying? It does give you like a boost of a higher sense of somebody's going to be there to actually help me if something do go wrong. But
Right.
you got to have that strength within yourself, because at any moment something could go wrong. Like the other day, I was walking to the restroom, I almost tripped, made the wrong move. I thought I popped something out of place, but I just sat there, relaxed, talked to myself, like just put some ice on it, and just sometimes you just got to be aware of everything that can either go wrong or either go right. So I just try to stay positive. Like I said, I always try to stay positive, even if I know I'm doing something wrong. Like sometimes when I do my little cheat snacks, you know what I'm saying? Little piece of cake or something, a little cupcake. I still take, you know what, tomorrow I'm just gonna do some more physical therapy, or tomorrow I'm gonna do this. I'll do a little more extra. So yeah, I just it's just about the mind. Everything's about the mind. First, everything begins with the mind. You think it, then it happens. It's a process.
Oh, that's great, because that means also whatever you're thinking the most of, that's what you're bringing to reality,
That
and that's really good because
if you're happy, you're gonna be more happy. And I try to stay happy, man. I just try to stay focused on my goal, getting healthier, getting wiser, reading more books, reading, taking time to watch these YouTube videos on how to stay healthy with the new hip, how to exercise the new hip, how to make sure I don't hurt myself and everything. So I just try to stay in the know.
Yes, that is important, because knowledge is key.
Ah,
Uh, if a person doesn't have the knowledge or doesn't use the knowledge, I mean, it's a lost cause. Um, yeah, well, thank you very much, Sanjay. We want to uh, just remind everybody GoFundMe. That's to help Sanjay Sharler walk again. And he has to go in and get another operation after this. So we would like for you to get in contact with him by going to the GoFundMe, and here's the number up here.
mhm.
Please, if you don't have anything to write it down, come back to the video and please give all that you can. And for those of that haven't seen the video, share this with your family, because we know that there are for men, there is a significant amount of men that fight with the management of weight and being overweight. And sometimes, people that like today, a lot of people do that in vain. You know what I mean? They just like, oh, big fella, or even with women that are a little bit overweight, especially black women, she's thick, and we don't want to use the opportunity to get healthy and waste it on vanity, as Sanjay has, being a chef, how hard it is not to taste everything and, you know, yeah, whatever you want. So, Sanjay, I'm going to give you the last word here. Anything that you want to say to everybody before we go?
Yeah, man. Everybody, if you see that you have a challenge, face it head on. Just keep going right. Keep- yeah, love you, Dr. Zarif, man.
Love you too, brother.
Nice meeting you, Miss Carolyn.
You.
I want to get back into the martial arts. That's why I was like, no, I gotta get my hips down. I can't kick nobody no more.
Well, we'll work on some hand stuff first.
Yes,
Yeah. Well,
yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much. We're going to go ahead and move on so we can. Woo, that time went fast. I knew it because I enjoy talking to Sanjay anyway. He is just a wonderful man, still a young man, and I love that we had the opportunity to speak to him. Now, there's a couple other things I want you to do. Please, everybody, remember, let's give all that you can. You got a few dollars, you got 20, 40, 60, 80. Let's give so that we can help Sanjay walk again. um, Now, what I would like to do is to talk a little bit about the what happens when um, you eat foods, but you don't know the badness or the unhealthiness that's upon you. So let's take a look at what the foods that are bad for you, that are bad for your blood sugar, not just bad for you, but for your blood sugar. And we start off with potatoes. Now, the average American eats about 126 pounds of potatoes every year, and that's according to the Harvard School of Public Health. And as this called the Helgi Library found in 2019, China and India residents, they eat even more. But those French fries and mashed potatoes and chips and hash browns, they could be wreaking havoc on your blood sugar. And many of us have blood sugar problems, so this is why we're talking about that today. The Harvard School of Public Health goes on to note that the potatoes are certainly high in rapid digested carbohydrates. We talked about glucose and how some of the foods would turn to sugar and how the body uses it. But when we overdo it, we have more junk than we have the healthy foods. It can be deleterious, and that includes some of the white rice. Those people that still eat white rice. If you thought that potatoes were, popular, you should hear about the rice. White rice is by far the most common variety since it's easier to transport, it cooks faster, and it has a longer shelf life. But it is, if we overdo it again, it is like mainstreaming starch, and we definitely don't want to do that. Another thing that when it comes down to some of the things that are bad for you or those things that are very unhealthy would be your coffee drinks. Pay attention to that. Your coffee drinks, they smell good, they look good, you feel like you're in with the in crowd, but they're not so healthy. The good news about that is that most people prefer plain coffee. Typically, it doesn't affect your blood sugar. So drinking just a black coffee, you don't have that same effect. However, uh, uh, Diabetes Daily, which is a magazine, it notes that several studies have found that caffeine can cause the hyperglycemia in people, and that hyperglycemia is another word for high blood sugar, and that can happen in people who already have type 2 diabetes. The effect varies from person to person, though, and some diabetics can drink all the unsweetened coffee they want without a blood sugar surge. So remember, there's some drinks that if you just take the sugar, you dilute it with water, is very, very important and very helpful. The fruit juice cocktails, for instance, don't overdo it with that. It's one of the things I love, the pomegranate fruit, and I love mangoes and a whole slew of them. But guess what? You can easily overdo it and have too much of the fruit in your system, and that is one way to have high blood sugar. Fortunately, it appears that 100% fruit juice is a better blood sugar alternatives. The 100% fruit juice. So do your own juice. When you do things like, make your own juice and your own smoothies, it's easy to overdo it. But the good side of that is that the choice of foods that you choose in order to make it. Nutrition Science reviewed that they actually concluded that 100% fruit juice does not have a significant effect on your glycemic control, and or the measures. It also measures the different measures of insulin resistance. Still, diabetes self-management notes that 100% juices do not have a lot of natural sugar and carbohydrates, but that depends on what type of fruit that you're choosing. There are very sweet berries and there are berries that aren't so sweet. But when you eat large amounts, like over 3 servings of any of the fruit, those are now, well, that type of regimen will definitely cause you to increase your risk of infection and disease. So ketchup along with barbecue sauce, that's high in sugar. And then you have the instant oatmeal. Use the old fashioned. If you're drinking non-dairy milk, remember that drinking plant milk and other non-dairy milks can provide a lot of benefits. Alternative milks are ideal for those who have dairy allergies and lactose intolerance. But you have to watch out for getting this or taking in a large dose of blood sugar along with plant-based beverages, because just because it's plant-based, it doesn't make it safe. It just means that it will reduce the risk of disease. Now, I continue here with artificial flavors and flavored yogurt and honey. Now, I'm going to go back. We're just going to do this really fast because we're getting ready. We're doing pretty good. Let's go back to the wonderful Care. Care, any feedback?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. I'm glad you mentioned that just because it's plant based doesn't mean that it's safe, because you have to consider sugar, the amount of sugar that's in that drink, right?
Yes.
And that has a lot to do with that. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that was just one of those things that I thought about when you mentioned that. And then just with any of the fruit that you're drink or fruit,
The fruit juices?
say it again.
The fruit juices?
Yes, like
Yeah.
with the pomegranate too. I mean, even if you have something that is it's partially pomegranate and then it has something else in it, you still want to look at that the ingredients and see if it's what, like if it has sugar in there, if there's like the artificial sugars that you mentioned earlier, right?
Right.
That's the you still want to go ahead and look at that too, because I think
Exactly.
the front, the what is it, the front part of the label is what you people look at, and it pulls them in, but then they don't turn it around to see what's really going on.
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
know that we went somewhere. You and I, we were going looking at the doing our little footage thing,
Uh-huh.
and I remember we even while we were there, we just saw so many products that we had turned around and said, "Oh man, look what's in here,"
Right.
you know. Um, and then besides that, there are also things like when you think that you're not eating certain foods or animal foods or animal byproducts, and then if you see something like magnesium stearate, or if you see other, you'll see a name there, you just don't know what it is. Like something that has protein. When you see that protein or protein stearate or other forms of protein, you
Hmm.
should actually question it if you are a vegan. I don't know how strict you are, but sometimes people are only as strict as they're willing to read, and it's like I didn't see it, bam,
Right. Yeah.
so that's really so. Let's go ahead and get out of here. We have a couple of seconds. I'm going to go back. Thank you very much, Care. And let's go to. I want to just this really fast. The FDA recalls over 50 million eggs. So and these were organic eggs. These eggs were produced in by August Egg Company, and they were sold under multiple brand names at restaurants and retailers. So with the way that we see it, we think when we see stuff in there in the carton that company made it, but these companies buy from large manufacturers and they produce millions and millions of eggs, and that's how they get their break. The recalled eggs were distributed by or from February the 3rd this year. It's a couple of months ago, and through May the 6th, which was last month. And all of these were available to Walmart locations. Don't get caught up in all the beautiful, the raindrops and the sprinkles and stuff that they have now in the uh, produce section. You want to make sure that you want to find out, where these things came from, and you don't do it maybe in one day. You just go up to somebody, where do your eggs come from? You might just want to talk to a manager or one of the buyers so that you'll find out more information about what you're putting into your body. Okay. All right. I'm going to get on here to the last subject right here. I just wanted to add this to it. What is clean? Clean foods. While there isn't a official name for clean eating yet, and I'm going to just bypass some things here. When it comes to eating food, just keep in mind that there may be some positive elements to consumers' desire to eat clean, such as eating more whole or minimally processed plant foods, and focus on the food quality rather than the fad diets that exclude healthful foods. Many of the clients actually define clean eating in a variety of ways. So it's important that nutritionists and RDs and other health enthusiasts determine that the dietary goals that they may have, they can help them to achieve a helpful lifestyle that meets their nutrient needs. So you want to have foods that mean something. So when you eat these foods, they're not just filling your tummy, but they're also giving you a reason to feel that you are boosting your immune system, that you're eating to improve your circulation of your blood. You're eating to keep your balance of the sodium, the sugar, and the oils in your body. So, all of these things are important. Remember that the clean eating emphasizes consuming whole, minimally processed, while avoiding refined ingredients and artificial additives. This trend focuses on nutrition quality and sustainability. Okay, we're going to go back to the wonderful care, and we're going to get going here. Care.
Right, yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Thank you, Sanjay, for joining us. Thank you to everyone that joined us. I know we were having some technical issues with Instagram and with Facebook, but we made it happen. So this is going to be on a replay, of course. So anyone that's coming in late or wants to go back and take some notes, it's always here on the Dr. Zarif YouTube channel. So just go ahead and take notes there, and please make sure to subscribe when you're there. So I want to say happy Father's Day to all the beautiful fathers out there, and happy Juneteenth as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy Father's Day to you. Dr. Zarif, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Care, and thank you everybody for listening in. This was very, very wonderful. Remember, my brother Sanjay Charlotte. He is one beautiful human, and I just congratulate him. And please, when you contact him on GoFundMe, that you also leave a note that continues to encourage him.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that I would definitely continue to be in contact and help him in every way that I can. So let's do that, everybody, and let's do that for our loved ones. Don't just leave them out there. You see, Sanjay went through a lot of stuff, and here he is today telling this story. Some people don't live long enough through that stuff to even be here to share the story, but he had the wherewithal to go back to health. That's the key,
Mm-hmm.
because if you want to keep living, you want to live healthfully. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. We'll see you next week.